Those fellas, they don't think I can work. Well, I'll show them. I don't know what I can do. I'll find something, some way to earn some money.
And as he approached the next corner, he couldn't help overhearing two men talking.
Yep, wife and I want to drive out to Colorado for a couple of weeks. Been a long time since we had a vacation, and we aren't getting any younger. What we need's a good, dependable boy to stay at the farm while we're gone. But I just don't know where to find one.
Know what you mean, Rudder. Good, dependable boy, a man for that matter, is pretty hard to come by these days.
Yeah, there's really not so much to do this time of year. Just milk the cows and gather the eggs and look after things in general. I'd pay $2 a day for the right boy.
I'm the right boy, sir.
You what? Who are you, anyway? Hey, do you know him, Josh?
Oh, sure, that's old Dan Davies' boy. You remember Dan, don't you?
Of course I do. He was one of the smartest and squarest men I ever met.
Oh, thank you, sir. I thought he was pretty great, too. I think I could take care of your farm while you're gone.
But what are you wanting a job for? You certainly don't need the money.
Well, in a way, no. And in a way, yes. You see, it's like this. I'm a member of the local boys' camping club. So you see, Mr. Rudder, it's very important to me that I have a chance to earn some money.
Well, I don't know.
Well, you said you needed a boy, didn't you, Mr. Rudder?
Yeah, but...
Well, I really think Punkin Davies here'd be dependable. Don't know how much he knows about a farm, though.
Can you milk?
Yes, sir, I could.
Could?
Well, yeah. You see, I used to spend my summers on Uncle Walt's farm. My folks thought it was good for me. I helped with the milking and other things. I could make just about as much foam in the bucket of milk as the hired man.
Well, I don't know.
I'm sure I could learn again easily. Say, how soon you leaving?
We'd like to get off in a couple of days. Why?
I was thinking, would you give me board if I went home with you tonight and helped around so I could, learn the ropes a little before you leave? If I don't suit, you don't have to keep me.
And I guess that sounds fair enough. It's a deal, Punkin.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Rudder. You won't be sorry. Oh,
yeah.
There's one more thing, though.
Yeah, what is it?
It's my mother. I don't know how she'll take to this idea. Would it be too much to ask for you and Mr. Joshua to come along with me while I talk to her? She may want to ask you some questions.
Well, son, since you're going to help me out, I guess I can help you a bit. How about you, Joshua?
Oh, sure, I'll go along. Dan Davies helped me out many a time. Least I can do is help out his boy.
Well, let's get going then. Time's a-wasting. Lead the way, Punkin.
Punkin took the men to his house for a meeting with his mother. As he suspected, she didn't like the idea at first. But when she saw how much it meant to Punkin, and after being assured by the two men that everything would be all right, she consented.
Well, I'm sure you'll get along, but I know I'll worry about you all the time you're gone. With your father dead, you're all I have left. And I certainly don't want anything to happen to you.
I know, Mom. I'll be careful, but this is pretty important to me.
I'm sure everything will be all right, Mrs. Davies. There's nothing to worry about.
There's one more thing I'd like to ask all of you. I don't want any of the other fellas to know where I am or what I'm doing. Put them off somehow. Just don't tell them anything. Mr. Rudder lives 9 miles from here and off the main road, so they won't be likely to run across me unless somebody tells them.
As soon as everything was agreed upon, Punkin left with Mr. Rudder for his stay at the farm. That evening, Punkin milked 5 of the 11 cows, and by the time he was through, his hands ached like an ulcered tooth. But that was only the beginning of the evening chores. Mr. Rudder next showed him the separator used to separate the cream from the milk.
Might as well take a turn at the separator, Punkin. You'll have to do it by yourself after we leave. Now, you just turn the handle same as you'd crank an auto. That's the way. Fine. Now, when you get done, the wife will show you how to wash the separator.
Boy, you got any cars to be cranked? I think that'd be mighty easy compared to this.
Looks like you're done, Punkin. Put the cream and milk in the cooler, and then we have to take the separator all apart, piece by piece, to clean it.
Every last piece of it?
That's right. If it isn't cleaned thoroughly, bacteria will grow and contaminate the milk.
Wash every piece in hot water, then rinse it and then scald it.
Looks like there's 11 pieces to that separator. I'm beginning to see that there's a lot of work to do on a farm.
Yeah, that's right. Beginning to wish you hadn't bargained for this job.
No, ma'am. I'm going to stick with it no matter what. It's pretty important.
I can see that.
The next morning, things went a little easier for Punkin. The milking was not quite so tiring this time. Later on, Mr. Rudder explained about turning the windmill on.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah, but some days the wind doesn't blow. Then you'll have to pump the water by hand to fill the tank. And that's not so easy.
Oh, well, I guess I'll just hope for windy weather all the time you're gone. I imagine 11 cows and 10 horses can drink a lot of water.
You'll think so when you have to pump it by hand. Oh, and another thing. You'd better go round the fence and the big pasture every 2 or 3 days and make sure there's no wires down. You'll find staples and a hammer in the shed. And in your spare time, if you have any, you can work digging this cave. I just got started on it.
Punkin was beginning to think that he was going to really be earning his $2 a day. It sounded to him like there was going to be a lot of work to do. Then at the supper table that night...
When are you planning to leave, Mr. Rudder?
Well, we hope to be gone about 4:30 in the morning. Think you're ready to take over?
Well, not really, but I'll do the best I can.
I'm sure you will. I like the way you've taken hold.
Maybe you'll have a chance to catch a chicken thief while we're gone.
A chicken thief?
Yeah, there's been one around here, but nobody's caught him yet. Hasn't bothered us, but if he hears we're gone, he may show up some night.
I think it's pretty low down. Stealing chicken some woman has worked hard to raise.
Well, I guess you're right, but if it's all the same, well, don't you worry about your chickens, Mrs. Rudder. I'll take good care of them.
The Rudders left at 4:30 the next morning, and that day seemed the longest that Punkin had ever put in. It seemed to him that there were 3 times as many things to do as when Mr. Rudder was there with him.
There sure are a lot of eggs here. Every one of these 300 hens must have laid an egg today. I better get busy with them. Don't pack themselves. Some of these eggs are big, and others are small. My mother pays more for large eggs. I wonder.
Forget it. Mrs. Rudder didn't say anything about grading the eggs.
It wouldn't be much extra to grade them.
Oh, nonsense. You have a lot of work to do, Punkin. Why take the time to separate the large from the small? Besides, you aren't being paid to do extra work.
Do a good job, Punkin. Mrs. Rudder will be pleased.
So what if it takes a little more time? I have 24 hours a day. Besides, the large eggs will probably bring more money at the market. I'll keep a record and see how much more they'll bring by grading them and show Mrs. Rudder when she comes back.
When Punkin took the eggs and cream to the market, the graded eggs brought 2 cents more a dozen, and the additional amount he got added up to approximately $1.50.
I hope Mrs. Rudder's pleased. That will help pay a good share of my wages.
The next day was a beautiful, warm summer day, but there was no wind.
Them critters must be camels. All the water they drink.
In the afternoon, he walked around the pasture and put staples in the fence where needed.
There. Let's see you get out now.
The following morning was the 4th day since the Rudders had left. Punkin awoke at the crack of dawn.
Well, I guess I'd better get up and get busy. I haven't even touched that root cellar yet. And I'd like to have it all finished when Mr. Rudder gets back as a surprise.
By afternoon, Punkin had made considerable progress on the root cellar. The next day, he took the cream and eggs to the market at the county seat again. While there, the sheriff stopped him.
Hello there. You're the kid staying out the Rudder farm?
Yes, sir, that's me. Is there anything wrong?
No, not especially. Except you'd better be on the lookout for the chicken thief.
Chicken thief? I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, he's been working out in your neighborhood, too.
But what do I do if he comes around?
Well, catch him, naturally. Yeah, well, seriously. If the thief comes around, give me a call. I'll be there quick as I can to help you out.
That night, Pumpkin tried to stay awake listening for the chicken thief. But before long, he dozed off and forgot all about him. The next 2 days went by uneventfully. And then one night, while Pumpkin was milking the normally gentle and ladylike cows, Queen Bess lifted a nimble hind foot and kicked the milk bucket, throwing the contents all over Pumpkin.
Oh, why, of all things! What's wrong with you anyhow, Bess? Rusty Willis, where'd you come from? You're enough to make any self-respecting cow kick. Now you get out of here.
You make me.
All right, I will. Take this.
Hey, no fair throwing things, especially milk stools. Truce. I surrender.
Okay, but where'd you find out where I was?
Over at the county seat.
And I suppose you told all the other guys.
Oh, not yet. I haven't told anyone. And I won't if you let me stay all night.
Well, all right. You can stay, but you're gonna have to work.
Fair enough. What should I do first?
There's an egg basket on the back porch. You get it and go gather the eggs and don't miss any. I'll finish milking.
Okay, but where do I look?
In the hen house, of course. And in the hay mow, and the feed boxes, and the straw stack, and the back of the old car, and most any place else. You just have to look.
After the milking was finished and the eggs gathered, Rusty helped Pumpkin turn the crank on the separator. And since there was again no wind, they had to pump water for the animals. After supper, they worked on the root cellar. When they finally went to bed, they decided to sleep on the porch because it was cooler. Shortly after midnight, Pumpkin was awakened by the rattle of a car.
Where am I? Oh, now I remember. We're at Mr. Rudder's farm. And we're sleeping out on the porch because it's so hot. Hey, how's come that car's coming down the lane with its lights turned off? Now it's stopping out there under those trees. Wow! Maybe that's the chicken thief the sheriff warned me about. Rusty, wake up. Come on, Rusty, wake up.
Oh, hey, what's the matter?
Oh, shh, be quiet. I think there's a chicken thief here.
Yeah.
That's his car over there under those trees.
Oh, but what are we gonna do?
We're going to catch him, that's what.
Oh, but how? Oh, what if he has a gun or something? We might get hurt.
Not if we do it right. Come on, hurry up. Get your clothes on. Hey, listen. Hear the chickens?
Yeah. Hey, now where you going?
To call the sheriff. We'll need his help. Hello, Central. Hello, Central.
Central?
Hello, Central. Get me the sheriff's office, quick.
Just a minute.
Hello? Sheriff Department?
Hello? This is Pumpkin Davies. I'm staying out at the Rudder farm. The chicken thief is here, getting Mrs. Rudder's chickens right now.
Are you positive?
I sure am. I saw him drive up, and the chickens are squawking their heads off.
I'll hurry right out. I hope he's still there by the time I arrive.
I'll keep him somehow.
Well, you be careful now. I'll be there in a few minutes. Goodbye.
Okay, Rusty, we've got work to do. Here, you take this rope, and I'll get Mr. Rudder's rifle. Then we'll go wait for him in the dark shadow of that big maple tree where his car's parked.
The boys waited in the darkness with caps pulled down so the thief couldn't tell how young they were. It seemed like a long time to them, but it was actually only a few minutes later when the thief came back to his car, both hands full of chickens, held head down so they couldn't squawk.
There he comes. Look at that. He must have a dozen chickens in each hand. We'll stop him. Let's go. Drop those chickens and put your hands over your head. No monkey shines now.
Oh, don't shoot! Don't shoot! I got my hands up!
Okay. Now you tie his hands behind his back while I hold this gun on him just in case he tries something foolish. What's your name, anyhow? Oh, all right. You don't have to tell us. You can save that for the sheriff.
Oh, no, don't call the sheriff. I'll talk. My name's Charlie. Please don't call the sheriff. Just let me go. I'll never come back here again. Oh, seems like I lose at everything. I never have any luck.
Name's Charlie, huh? And turning chicken, aren't you? Well, all your talking won't do you any good, Chicken Charlie. I've already called the sheriff, and he's on his way. He should be here any minute now. Hey, that's a pretty good knot you tied there, Rusty.
Oh, I didn't intend for him to get loose. Oh, look, here comes the sheriff now.
Well, I see you got him, boys. That's mighty good work. We've been after him for weeks. I'll take care of him now, Pumpkin. Your job's done. All right, mister, come on, get in the car. You're going back to the office with me. I'll come back later on and get his car. Now, you boys better get back to bed and get some sleep.
Oh, thanks a lot, Sheriff. I'll see you later. And Chicken Charlie, you better not try stealing any more chickens from the Rudder place.
Pumpkin, you were great. Imagine catching a chicken thief.
'Twasn't nothing, really. And the way you tied his hands, that was something else.
Oh, didn't want to take any chances. But Pumpkin, suppose that gun had gone off while you were poking him in the ribs. Oh, it'd have been awful to kill a man just for stealing chickens.
Look, it's empty. I used the last shell yesterday morning shooting at a chicken hawk.
It was 4 o'clock the next afternoon when Rusty finally pedaled away on his bike. They had worked on the root cellar for most of the day, and it was near completion. As he rode down the lane, Pumpkin called after him.
If you tell the other fellas where I am, I'll give you a licking like you never had before.
Don't worry about me. You'll be the first to tell them. I hope you make it back in time for our club meeting.
The next couple of days went by quite uneventfully. Every spare minute, Pumpkin worked on the root cellar. He wanted to get it finished before the Rudders returned. On the third day after capturing Chicken Charlie, the Rudders came home. As they walked around the farm to see how things were...
Pumpkin, looks like you did a real good job. Couldn't have done better myself. And that root cellar, I'm sure glad to see that it's finished.
Oh, I could tell you were anxious to have it done. That's why I worked so hard to get it finished.
Well, you did a real fine job.
Thank you, Mr. Rudder. Mrs. Rudder, here's the money for the eggs. Did you check my figures?
Yes, but according to this, you got nearly $7 more for the eggs than I usually get. How'd that happen?
Oh, that. Well, you see, I graded the eggs before taking them to town, and I got 2 cents more a dozen for the large ones, and I must say nearly all your chickens lay large eggs.
Frank, I think this boy deserves a bonus for his good work. Just think, he finished your cave, caught a chicken thief, and graded my eggs so they brought more money.
I agree. What do you say we split that extra money he got for the eggs with him? Give him, say, $3.50 plus his wages, and we'll keep the rest. How about it, Pumpkin? That agreeable?
Oh, agreeable? Oh, Mr. Rudder, that's great.
Pumpkin stayed that night to help out, arriving home the next day in time to attend the club meeting. They were supposed to be planning their camping trip, but they didn't get much business done. Pumpkin's story was too interesting. Rusty had been faithful, and it was not until they all got together that the rest of the boys heard about it.
You mean you stayed out there all by yourself and worked for Mr. Rudder while he was gone?
Sure did.
Guess we'll have to admit you really earned your money then. How much did you get anyhow?
$33.50. He even gave me a bonus.
Wow, that's a lot of money. Oh, I wonder who's at the door. Oh, the sheriff. I wonder who's gonna get it now.
Well, Pumpkin, your mother said I'd find you here.
But I don't understand, Sheriff.
You will. My friend, Mr. Caldwell here, will explain everything.
You're Charles Davies.
Well, that's right. My friends call me Pumpkin.
Glad to meet you, Pumpkin. I have a slip of paper for you.
Thanks.
Read it.
Pay to the order of Charles Davies the sum of $50.
$50, wow!
The County Poultry Association offered that reward for catching this thief. He's stolen many hundreds of dollars worth of chickens, so you've earned the $50. That was good work. Mighty good work.
Thank you, Mr. Caldwell. Thank you.
Say, Pumpkin, you ought to give me a couple of dollars. I helped you a whole day.
You're not getting $2 of mine.
Why not?
Because you're getting $27, that's why.
Wow.
You helped catch the thief, so we'll split the reward, okay? And then you get $2 for the day you helped.
You really mean it? Man, that's great.
Yeah, it sure is great. Pumpkin, I'm really glad you're going camping with us. I'll have to admit that crazy rule was my idea. I had you pegged as a chicken, but you're not. Guess that shows you can't always judge a person from outward appearance.